We're finally here, the last chapter of the saintsrow saga. From the church to the penthouse to the White House and now to hell. Yeah, my name's Starsense and this is saintsrow Gat Out of Hell. Notice how I didn't yell the title this time. It's kind of the black sheep of the series. After the events of Saints Row 4, it only makes sense that things would get crazier and more twisted. But going to hell? This is where most people drew the line. Myself included, as I didn't play this for a couple years after release. I felt it was a little much, even though it's just a standalone expansion of SR4. But eventually I did give it a chance, and was it really all that bad? I know you're probably expecting some cool title music to play, but Gat Out of Hell doesn't have music, minus the occasional grungy ambience. What's stupid though, is that NPC vehicles actually do have a radio. It doesn't just play music made for the game, but some really sick rock and metal tracks, and you'll never properly hear them. Why did they go out of their way to license a badass soundtrack and then make us play in silence? Blows my fucking mind. So let me just open up YouTube here, and there we go. So it all starts with, what the hell? You get it? God, I'm sorry. You get it again? Okay, I'll stop. So for some reason I can't start the game. Doing a little digging, it seems that when they added workshop support to Saints 4, it completely busted it because it uses a SR4 save file to load up your boss. Off to a great start already! So I have to disable Steam Cloud and remove my Saints Row 4 saves. Oh, this stupid game better be worth it. Because of this, we've got to use the default boss instead of my custom. Meh. Alright, now we can start. We're greeted with Jane Austen as the narrator again in a storybook fashion. The game picks up after the events of SR4 with us celebrating Kenzie's birthday on her spaceship. All the characters are just as they were in SR4, so I won't elaborate on each one. In true 13-year-old girl fashion, we bust out a Luigi board and tease the boss about their lack of love life. When it's asked who will tame their heart, the name Jezebel is spelled out and the boss is sucked into hell. About time! Gat gets the board to cooperate by threatening it, and plans to go into hell himself. He allows Kenzie to come along only because it's her birthday.
You need someone with you that does.
No.
It's my birthday.
Fine.
And because the game needed another character for co-op. Because you see, SRG does not have character creation. Instead of playing the boss, we play either Gat or Kenzie. I'd normally be upset about the lack of playing my own character, but let's be real.
Who doesn't want to be Johnny Gat?
Plus, I can just mod my character in, but more on that later. We're dropped off in hell and begin to track down an Ultor building after seeing one of their billboards. We hop in a vehicle, which will be one of the only times we have to drive in this game. The vehicles control the same as in SR4, but there's only a handful and no customization whatsoever. It's pretty irrelevant. We pull up to the Ultar headquarters and meet Dane Vogel, who we killed back in Saints 2. It's kinda cool seeing this guy again. He tells us that due to the boss causing more chaos than anyone else in human history, Satan deemed them as the perfect fit for marrying his daughter Jezebel. Dane helps us with Gat's plan of shooting Satan in the face, only because it'll potentially lower the amount of taxes he has to pay. However, we can't just go and crash the wedding because then there wouldn't be a game. And because we need an invitation, so to get Satan's attention, we've got to wreak havoc on hell.
I'm gonna shoot the devil in the face.
I think you might be skipping some details.
No, I said in the face.
I like the commitment, but you gotta find a way to get close enough to him in the first place.
We're given Lucifer's cracked halo to help us achieve that. And this grants the power of flight. So the movement and combat are the exact same as SR4, including the superpowers, though our attacks are a little different. We also have a more zoomed out camera. The upgrade system returns, and I'm not even going to waste my energy complaining about the inability to remove them. There's only a couple of differences. We have some new weapons. I like this shotgun crossbow thing, and we have the ability to fly rather than just glide. The flight controls are excellent. It's pretty awesome navigating the world this way, and it feels so good to play. I have seen some negative complaints about the flight controls, and it seems to always come down to this. Yeah, just play on keyboard and mouse. It feels great. So let's use these powers to fully explore the world. Wait a minute. This isn't Steelport? Oh my gosh, they made a new map. Hallelujah. Sorry, I said I'll stop. Yeah, this is New Hades. And while it's not all that big, it's actually a huge step up from the last games in terms of design. SR4 just threw a bunch of towers in shitty Steelport, but New Hades is built from the ground up to utilize your superpowers and flight ability. There's tons of set pieces to soar through, and it's nice having a map that takes advantage of our controls. In fact, there's a ton of detail in this map with some really neat places to come across, numerous tunnels, underground pathways, as well as some cool interiors. Graphically, it's about the same as SR4. Performance is a bit better though, as I didn't run into a single crash or bug, nor did I have to uncap my frame rate this time around. Overall, a huge step up from Steelport. It may not be Stillwater, but this is a pretty good map. The NPCs in this world are the worst they've ever been though. It's just a bunch of undead souls, and the notoriety only spawns in demons to fight. Boring. But this isn't Saints Row 5, so I can't complain too much. Which brings us to another change. This game doesn't really have missions, at least not many. Instead, we're given a list of stuff to do. Our goal is to cause destruction until we fill up Satan's wrath. Gee, all you would have to do is look at the new game. The gameplay of Gat Out of Hell is basically more of the Saints Row 4's open world. We have a few activities such as the return of mayhem and insurance fraud, which is like a better version of SR3's. Blazon has been reworked to be about flying, and we have a new one called Salvation, where we grab descending souls from the sky. All of these are pretty fun, no complaints here. There's also a bunch of diversions, more things to collect such as souls and audio tombs.
Fucking collectibles.
Like activities, many of these are from Saints 4 and reskinned to fit hell. Spires are a hybrid of gang takeovers and hotspots, survival, chop shop, and some of the regulars return. There's many new ones too, like extractions where we capture a bunch of area points. We unlock fast travel points through marshalling grounds since we don't have gateways or cribs. Some of the vehicles trigger diversions and mostly involve you driving into stuff. I won't go over all of them, but the majority are pretty fun, except maybe Pledge Rush where you just whack some frat demons around and having to save your allies, particularly the twins one really sucked. That's about it for the gameplay of SRG. It's pretty simple, but if you enjoy the open world content of SR4, then it's just more of that in a different setting. Everything is fairly enjoyable to go through, and the lack of missions doesn't hurt the experience, being that this is a shorter spin-off. The only other major thing to cover is the modding capabilities. We can definitely make some neat changes, such as fully restoring and customizing the boss or bringing back the on-foot radio. The radio mod allows us to hear the station of completely licensed music that normally only NPCs can play. It's kind of crazy all of this was left in the game, but it's nice that we can once again play with our own character. The reason this works is because Gat and Kinsey are technically just outfits that the Saints Row 4 boss wears. Apart from that, there's a handful of other quality of life features and tweaks available. Nothing major happens in this game to spoil, other than, like, us winning. So, spoiler warning, I guess? So in regards to the story, our objective apart from causing destruction is to impress a few different people and gain some extra powers. Each one serves as our guide in their district. The most notable of these is Viola and Kiki.
I can't believe you forgot the mimosas.
I think we have bigger problems.
I don't think you realize how much I love mimosas.
Being some of my favorite characters from SR3, I was super happy to see their return and really enjoyed their dialogue, particularly with Kinsey, as the conversations do vary depending on if you play her or Gat, so it may be worth doing a couple runs.
I miss the Saints. At first, we only worked together because of mutual interest, but we really formed a friendship. Except for Shaundi. Fuck that bitch.
The other people we meet are Vlad, Shakespeare, and Blackbeard, but they were boring and I would have preferred to see old Saints characters come back, such as Dex. But no, instead Dex is put in diversion without his own player model. I can't believe they listed this shit as one of the key features of the game. Once we're done collecting all our powers from these guys, we do whatever we want until the story advances, which happens with cutscenes throughout gameplay. Jezebel argues with her father Satan about the forced marriage.
You will marry that saint, and I won't hear another word!
I won't do it!
She insists she doesn't want to marry the boss before breaking out into song. Yeah, it goes full musical, with even Gat and Kinsey singing along.
But all my solutions involve murder sprees.
You have to stay the course.
I get they were trying to be lighthearted and comedic, but this just felt really cringe. She seeks out Gat herself and insists she wants to help, though he's initially reluctant. Despite how much he's changed throughout the series, I actually enjoyed Gat's character and humor in this game.
I'm here to help you.
Yeah, but I already have the gun drawn, so,
Are you kidding me?
not sure yet. I'm kinda winging it.
Can you wing it without the gun?
It's a comfort thing.
Even Kinsey's more enjoyable this time around, with her making comments on how she's turning into a murdering sociopath like Gat. With Jezebel's help, we're able to breach Satan's castle walls and meet the man himself. We've definitely got his attention with our acts around the town, and he decides that we will marry his daughter instead.
Look how you inspire her. She wants to kill me. You bring out the best in her.
He even offers us a deal that the boss can leave should we accept. We show up to the wedding, but with a different plan. Gat immediately shoots Satan in the face, though it doesn't leave a mark. With Kinsey's help, we begin taking out a squad of demons and fighting the hellish overlord off. It's a fairly tedious bullet sponge battle, but eventually we slay Satan. The boss, Kinsey, and Jezebel are all set free and arrive back on the spaceship, but Johnny is taken to see God. He thanks Johnny because all Satan needed left to take him on was the boss to lead them into battle.
What, you think I couldn't do it?
No, I think you wouldn't do it. Aisha's up here.
Oh, I didn't think this silly game would pull on my heartstrings. We're given a choice in our reward, each one triggering a different ending cutscene. Gat can become the new king of hell, he can be reunited with Aisha, find a new home planet for the Saints, uncover the answers of the universe, or retcon everything that's ever happened in the Saints Row series. None of the endings are particularly fleshed out, but the last ending is the canon one, where Gat, Kinsey, and Matt are seen as police officers. The universe being reset is what leads into Agents of Mayhem. Ugh. God help me if I ever review that game. The ending isn't very satisfying. I would have rather had one good ending instead of several small ones, but this is a silly, light-hearted game, so I can't hold too much blame. There's also a secret ending that tells you what happened to a bunch of the characters, which adds a little more closure to the series. And that's it for SRG. To wrap things up, Gat Out of Hell really isn't this horrible Saints Row murderer. It's just a goofy spin-off of the fourth game that gives us more open-world content and a new map to play around with. It may not be something you can really invest yourself in like the first 4 games, but it's great in short bursts. For sure worth playing, but only if you are a big fan of SR4. If you rush through it, you can beat it in a few hours, but I'd recommend taking your time exploring the world and unlocking all the secrets like the 7 deadly weapons. I actually had a ton of fun just roaming around the world doing random diversions, especially after modding my boss in the awesome radio. Whether it be fighting or just flying around, it's a pretty fun game and I really like it. But that's the end. I don't just mean of SRG, but of Saints Row. This is it, guys. Unfortunately, we can't hold out hope that another great Saints game is coming in the future because this is the future, and the bad one at that because this abomination exists. It was a complete failure. So all we're left with is these 5 Saints Row games. It's a little sad to think that my journey through Saints Row may forever end here, but it'll always be one of my most cherished video game series. Saints Row 2 is my favorite game of all time, and I still love the other 4 in numerous ways. They were my introduction to the open world genre, and I know I'll continue replaying these every once in a while until I'm dead because they're that special to me. Thank you so much for coming with me on this journey through the Saints Row series. I've had a great time making all these reviews, and now we've reached the finale. While I'm excited to move on to other games, I'm also a little sad to leave it behind. But no matter what happens, we'll never forget what this series was. We've met so many characters along the way and have had so many experiences, from its most grounded days to its most crazy. It was fucking awesome. So all that's left to say is, long live Saints Row. Alright, that's it for me, guys. Please like, comment, subscribe, and all that stuff if you want to help me out. If you haven't seen my other Saints reviews, you can find them on my page. With all that said, I'll see you in the next one. Thank you so much for watching. Peace out.